What's up? This is Sports News Chicago. My first update in 8 months. I only made one video. This channel pretty much looked like a bust for a while, but I decided to pick it up again. So I'm talking to you today about the Bears free agent signings. I'll be releasing a flurry of other videos, so this whole weekend. So just keep your eye out. Keep watching. I promise I won't slack off anymore. Alright? So here we go. I'm going to talk about the free agent signings in ascending order. So I'm going to start off with the least major. I'm going to talk about 5 signings today. Talk about Jonathan Willight, Kelvin Hayden, Eric Weems, Jason Campbell, and Brandon Marshall. And I know I'm not talking about any re-signings or anything big like that. But I figured if I focused on these 5, I could give you my full opinion and everything. So first off is Jonathan Willight. He's a corner. He's a corner from Auburn originally, and he was like a 4th-round pick in the draft. He's played for the Patriots and Broncos. He's only 5'11", 185 pounds. Doesn't look like this guy has much upside. I mean, he's only 28, but I did some more research and I found out when he was on the Patriots, he had a great 14 games. Like he actually had a 14 games that I think might be better than some of the corners on the Bears roster right now. And I'm looking at it right now, and in 2009, played in only 14 games, he had 2 interceptions, 45 tackles, and 5 passes defense. Now that's a great 14 games for a guy, who's not a starter. He was not a starter on the Patriots, and this guy's not a big name. If I were to pick one surprise out of this whole entire group, one surprise that could actually come up and play way beyond expectations, it's this guy, because I think this guy could be he's not going to be a starter over Tillman or Hayden or any of those guys. He's going to be a solid contributor off the bench when we need kind of a spark on defense, and when our other corners are getting tired. We could put this guy in if we had injuries or guys were just tired and getting worn down. And he's quick too. I know he's quick. He's a pretty good, solid nickelback. I mean, he's not going to be a corner. He's not going to be a shutdown guy, but I think he'll grab a pick or 2 this season. Next up is Kelvin Hayden. Now this guy I think is a great signing for us because we really needed maybe a guy who can actually has a chance of starting. He's a Chicago native. He can kind of get with the fans. He's 28. He picked us off in the Super Bowl, which was not the greatest feeling. But yeah, he's a Chicago native. He is 2nd-round pick. The guy's been there before. He was in the Super Bowl. Picked off Rex Grossman, just like the rest of the NFL. He's got some solid experience, 5 years on the Colts and a year on the Falcons. He's 6 foot, 195, which is, it's average, maybe a little bit above average. Not above average, but like maybe, that's substantial size. That's fitting size for a corner. That's the word I was looking for. But yeah, he could be a solid contributor. I think that he could start now that we've lost the likes of Zachary Bowman. And yeah, I think this guy's going to be a player for the team, to watch out for. This guy could come up with some big plays. He's got 322 tackles and 11 interceptions on his career. Also, this is something interesting. He actually played quarterback in high school. Now this might serve well, if we need a trick against some teams, like if we're without uh, without any other ways to score. We could sub him in, try out the Wildcat a little bit. This guy's fast enough. He also played tailback in high school, and he was a D1 high school player. He was he was a solid player, not only on the defensive end but also on the offensive end. I think that he could actually run maybe a couple plays this year at Wildcat if Lovey would notice, or I don't know what of our Mike Tice, what he's going to be like as an offensive coordinator. I don't know if he's going to be a little bit crafty or what. I don't know what's going to happen with that. But if he happens to be crafty with his plays, which I don't think he will be, because he's an offensive line coach, probably wants to ground and pound. But yeah, I think he could. I think this guy could come up big for us in ways other than just being a corner. Next up is Eric Weems, the wide receiver, well, really just kick returner for the Falcons last year. And we got first-person view of this guy. We watched him return a kick. I can't remember if he returned it for a touchdown or if he returned it. He returned it deep. I know he did in the first game against the Falcons this year. And he's a solid guy. I think they got him in there to fill in for Johnny Knox, not on the offensive end because he can't fill in for him offensively, but because he only grabbed, I forgot how many catches, 11 catches. That's not it's not exactly a game changer for 90 yards. 9 yards a catch, I mean, it's alright. Roughly 9 yards a catch. But yeah, definitely not an offensive threat. He's not an offensive threat, but I mean, maybe for a couple of deep passes, if we just wanted to throw him in there in like a 5 wide receiver set, maybe he'll catch a few passes on like end of half, Hail Marys, if he's open. But yeah, he's going to be a solid kick returner. I think he was a Pro Bowler last year. Yeah, he was. Yeah, so, decent signing, another decent signing. The next guy I'm going to talk about is Jason Campbell. And, I really wouldn't care about the signing that much if it weren't for the Caleb Pady fiasco of last year where we just, we're a solid playoff team, but we literally could not get in the playoffs with freaking a high school teacher and pretty much a farm kid who's 25 years old. I don't think he was ready at all. I think that we didn't give him enough time to prepare. And I'm not justifying what he did, but I think it was partially, the Bears management to blame for that one. When we also could have picked up another quarterback. I'm not going to get into that. It makes me kind of angry. But, yeah. Solid quarterback. He's a starter in the NFL, and we got him as our backup. Probably one of the best backups in the NFL right now. That's a huge difference. Yeah, that's a huge difference, oh my god, between him and Caleb Payne. We have one of the best backup quarterbacks, if not the best. I'm trying to think of a better backup quarterback off the top of my head. I can't think of any, but I'm sure I'm missing some people. He's a great quarterback. He's mobile. He'll be a solid player, Jay Cutler goes down. He gets sacked 837 times this year. If we don't boost up our offensive line. Not going to get into that either, but yeah, fantastic pickup. And he's being great about the whole situation. He's recognizing he's the backup here. He's going to fight hard for starting spot. He's not going to get it over Jay Cutler. We've already made it very clear. This is a year of change. We have got a new offensive coordinator, so you never know. And my last guy I'm going to talk to you about is Brandon Marshall. Not really much to say here. One of the best wide receivers in the NFL. The best wide receiver we could have gotten from the free agency, in my opinion. he's almost impossible to bring down once he gets an open field. And you know what? We just went from the roster with possibly one of the worst wide receiver uh, teams, and we went up into maybe the top, I think the top 12 with this pickup, because this guy is a game changer. In his prime, he's 6'4", 230. The dude just runs through guys if you get in an open field too. I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better signing. And that's it for Sports News Chicago. Next up, I'm gonna be releasing probably a Bulls video. Bulls or Blackhawks. I don't know about Cubs yet. It's too early in the season. But I'll release one anyway for you guys. I think this weekend, since I've been away for a long time. I don't know. Yep.